All right, let's go to Vanessa from Denver, Colorado. KRKS is the station. Hi, Vanessa. Welcome to New Life.
Hi. Thanks for having me. I love your show.
Thank you, Vanessa. What's going on?
Well, I'm going to start off with a question because you guys always love the question.
We do love a question.
Vanessa, what's your question?
Hurry, get to the question.
Yeah.
She's
the
been listening
question
to the
is,
show.
I'm trying to figure out with my brother, I'm 29, he's 26, we're trying to figure out the best and most effective way to do an intervention or have a conversation with my 53-year-old father about his sex addiction and basically the ending of my parents' marriage of 31 years.
How do you know he's a sex addict?
Well, the way it all went down is the first sign was 5 years ago he left Christ and denounced Christ and went into this New Age religion, and I'm now seeing that he did that to justify his actions with his sex addiction. My
Is
brother
he
and
in
I,
affairs or pornography or
everything.
prostitutes?
Everything. 6 months ago, my brother and I, we actually work for him, and we found in his computer receipts for HIV tests. He actually started a porn.
tests.
Yeah, he actually started a porn business.
my goodness.
So deep, so deep.
Wow. Not many men start their own porn business. That's
Yeah,
pretty
and
amazing.
he's an entrepreneur, but we were the ones, sadly, who had to tell my mom and had to make the decision to tell my mom.
Yeah, okay.
So
well, good for
now
you.
they're divorced, and he's leaving in 3 days. He's
Hey,
moving to
Vanessa,
Florida.
knowing that he's your dad and you grew up with him, are these any surprises?
He's a narcissist, so in a way, no. But
Okay.
we never knew. We never, even my mom didn't really have any idea that this is what he was capable
That it was
of.
that deep and dark?
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of savvy. How do you know? How do you know this stuff? You're like, have you got a clinical training degree, or you got some counseling degrees?
Well, I work with foster kids, so I
Okay.
deal with their sex addictions
You're
as
aware.
younger teens.
Well,
Got
what
it.
are you trying to accomplish here?
Well, because he's leaving, we never told him that we were the ones that told my mom and
Okay.
knew the information
right.
because my mom was worried that he would go after the little assets that they did have, and
Yeah.
she wanted it to be an easy divorce.
Right.
So we haven't got to actually sit down with him and have a conversation about what happened and what we know. And he's leaving in 3 days, and I just feel like we need to set him up with something in Florida. I just feel like time's up. Like 3 days, we have to say something, and I don't, because he doesn't know. He
Now-
thinks we think the marriage fell apart.
Okay. Now, are you prepared if this narcissist, once he doesn't think, or once he knows that you don't think he's wonderful, are you prepared that he doesn't really want to be around you anymore? I mean, that is an outcome that could happen. He could just say, I'm done with my kids.
Yeah, I don't fear that because over the years, like when we confronted him about the religion, I'm about as hard-headed as he is. I'm not a narcissist, though, that I
Yeah.
know of, that no one's told me anyway. But him and I bump heads, and we might fight for a little bit or something, but then he kind of is just like,
Okay.
hey, how's it going?
All right.
He doesn't ever, like, excommunicate
So,
us.
Vanessa, are you telling him for you and your brother, or are you hoping that he's going to have some realization?
It's a little bit of both. Mostly, I want him. I feel like if he's living in the darkness and in the secrecy, he can continue to operate in it and not realize that everyone knows. Like he just. My mom's real soft, so he kind of just says, "Oh, you're just exaggerating. You're just making it up." But with us, I want him to know that everybody knows. His family knows now. We know. We're the ones who found this evidence. He can't argue the evidence right now.
So
and he needs help. He needs help.
So John wrote this book about how to have that difficult conversation, and it seems like you're realistic about the outcome, that he's not going to just fall down and cry and say, oh, I'll never do it again, I want to come back and all that. So, John, what do you think is their best approach? They just want to communicate that they know the inside out of his addiction.
Yeah, I would add a piece to that, Vanessa. You have 3 days before he's gone to Florida, right?
Yep.
And you and your brother call him to coffee or somebody's home or whatever. And I would add, the piece I would add to the outcome besides, look, you're not fooling anybody, is we want to give you a path. Everybody, when they have somebody come to them with really hard stuff, like we know how sick this is and how twisted this is and how much danger you're in physically and emotionally, everybody also needs a way out. And I would craft with your brother something like, look, we know a good therapist, we know a good counselor, we can find people in Florida. All we want you to do is to see that we love you and that this is bad for you and we're for you. Because As Steve said, the problem with a narcissist is when you pop the I'm special balloon, they go into either deep contempt for themselves or from others. It kind of goes one way, and then you've lost everything. So this is probably a window, but you like you said, he trusts you anyway. But the idea is going to be, even though you feel ashamed right now or offended or how dare you, here's a phone number. Here's a person. So if in the next few weeks, as you're deliberating over this, you'll have a path.
Tell him about the Every Man's Battle workshop thing.
Right.
Dad, if you ever want to look into this and see that there's a different way, here's a weekend you can go to, and other guys have the same problem.
Deep inside every narcissist, there's an isolated person that really wants to be loved as they are.
Yeah.
And this is
And
your
that's
shot to
why
get to it.
reaffirming their
And
love
reaffirming helps.
for him is important
Right.
in that
So they can
process.
deal with the shame they're going to have and all that.
Hey, just curious, do you know what his relationship was like with his father?
Oh yeah, he doesn't know who he is. and
Doesn't
he's
know who
been
his
angry.
father is. See,
Got it.
Yeah,
typical.
he's been angry his
Yeah.
whole life about it, and
Yeah.
he is isolated for sure. And this is what we've been doing for the last 6 months, is offering him love and grace, because he probably even wonders what's wrong with me, because my normal path is to be like in his face, are you kidding me? You know, but this time I knew I had to be quiet for my mom's benefit. I
Yeah,
needed to let
makes
him know
sense.
I still love him. So I've kind of been just like supportive, like, you know.
So now it's time to use the love and grace as the anesthetic
Yeah.
and the reality and truth as the surgery.
And the irony is probably your brother is probably the closest male that's ever been close to him.
Yeah,
ever.
that is true. He
Yeah.
has no friends. He's so isolated.
Oh, yeah. All right, I hope something we've said is helpful. I will send you this book, How to Have That Difficult Conversation. I'll send you Every Man's Battle. Maybe that would be something that he would read. 4 million other guys have read it, so we'll send that to you. You know, no father would look down the road and say, okay, I'm hoping one day my children are bright enough to intervene in my sexual addiction. I mean, this is just horrible that the adult children have to step in here and try to do something like this. But, man, is he ever deep into the addiction.
Right. And if anybody was going to get to him, it sounds like maybe they would be the ones.
And how lucky he has to have a kid like that, like
Yeah.
Vanessa.
Mhm.
Way to go,
Wow,
Vanessa.
brave.
She's
Yeah.
a rock star.